Hello and welcome back to the FPL Tom YouTube channel. The game weeks are coming thick and fast over the festive period, but don't worry, me and Jake are here to help you out. Jake, my man, how are you doing after game week 13? You feeling pretty good?
Yeah, I'm feeling all right. Just a shame I couldn't quite keep up with you. Pull any,
Wow.
pull any figures back. If anything, I'm just slipping ever so slightly further away, but still early in the season. Um,
Hey lad, there's 7 game weeks in December alone. Like you can pull it back very, very easily by the end of the year.
yeah, I think I think City have got more chance of winning the league than I have of beating you.
Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Hey lad, you've got three free transfers in hand. You can pull this back this week alone.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see indeed. We'll see indeed. In the chat, it is already popping off. We've got some absolute legends. Andy and Jamie already in the chat as well. And then we've got somebody from Belgrade in Serbia. So that's nice.
Oh,
We're ex-
hello.
we're
Well,
ex-
how do you say hello in Serbian?
that's a good question. That is a good question. Let us know in the chat.
Hello. I don't know. I feel like that's an educated guess. Bit
Yeah.
of a hello.
I imagine it's probably close to hello, but not quite hello.
Or it could be completely different.
It
The,
could
the,
be. It
the
could
two
be.
options are it's like hello or it's not like hello.
Well, you've got like bonjour in French. That's not even close to hello. But then, I mean, Italian, it's ciao, and I always think that does sound a little bit like hello.
Like hola.
Hola, yeah, they're all like like they're like similar letters ish.
Hello is Dutch.
There we go. That's what I mean.
Ni hao.
Oh, okay, we've got the answer. Uh, ciao. It's like on Italian ciao.
Oh, I imagine it's pronounced pretty similar.
CAO. So ciao,
I reckon it's just ciao. Yeah.
ciao. All right, there we go. We're learning Serbian here, lad. This is not what people expected from an
I'm
FPL
surprised
stream.
it's not Chowvich.
That's true. That is true. That's the way you say hello in Serbian. Well, thank you very much for tuning in from Serbia. Of course, if anybody else is from any weird parts of the world, we've had people from pretty much every corner of the globe in some of these streams. So let us know in the chat. Of course, we will be answering your questions as always throughout today's streams. So get them in and we'll be answering them. There is a poll going around on the chat as well for the best captain for this week. I think a lot of people are going to be looking at Cole Palmer, and early stages of the poll, it's looking pretty dominant for Cole Palmer, to be honest, mate. And you obviously don't have him, so maybe
Not
that might sway you. Not yet. But maybe by tomorrow's deadline, of course, you might have him in. Right, let's head over then to your team then for game week 13. Jake, talk me through what went well and what didn't quite go so well.
all right. Well, the two obvious ones didn't go well are Pickford and Ait Nori, who didn't get anything because of the 4 goals they both conceded. However, Pickford can be forgiven considering the fact that he's actually been quite a decent hauler recently. I think he got 2-0 draws in a row. So it was only a matter of time before he failed to pick up some points. um, United, very emphatic. Nice clean sheet for Delo. I was on the right side of the gradient with that because I know a lot of people didn't quite have the same look when Mazwari got substituted within 60 minutes. So yeah, I got a bit fortunate there that it was Delo that stayed on over Mazraoui. Salah, of course, Bruno Fernandes. I mean, as much as Evan Nilsson and Strand Larson would have got more as captain, I do feel like it was one of those where it was just a toss up between Bruno and Salah. And 2 assists for Bruno, I can't be too disheartened by it, considering the fact that I don't have the likes of Saka and Palmer, who would have been key captaincy choices this weekend. So yeah, all things considered, as much as once again I have failed to captain Salah, I am still happy that I've gone for someone that's got some kind of attacking return. And of course, I'm never going to be disheartened when Salah gets an attacking return. And then yeah, the crazy game at Molineux, where Evan Nilsson got a hat trick of assists, well, fantasy assists, and Strun Larson actually was quite clinical, to be honest. I felt like it was starting to feel like after Cunha's performance against Fulham last week that the Strun Larsen decision to bring him in during the wild card was a little bit rash and was just a bit of a let's save some money rather than a bit of an educated move. Whereas now it's making me look a little bit more. I just feel like it looks a little bit smarter now.
Yeah,
However,
yeah. I agree. Because
for
obviously,
the price tag that you're paying for him for an 11-point haul is very, very good.
agreed.
And then probably nothing more to really write about. I think for what the team is, the only real disappointment was Lewis Hall losing his clean sheet because of how late it was. That being said, Palace absolutely dominated Newcastle. I really don't understand how Palace didn't win that game. But in the circumstances, for him to lose it in the 94th minute, that was a bit of a bugger. Dragusin was on for bonus, but at least that equaliser happened quite with quite a decent amount of time left to play. So, yeah, overall, I'm on a bit of a time speaking here. Overall, with the team that I played and with the players that I had out available to me, a pretty respectful week, I would say.
Yeah, I think so, mate. To say you didn't have obviously Cole Palmer or Saka in this team, to come away with 67, still a pretty decent result. And if Salah doesn't score that late goal, that Bruno captaincy decision looks pretty decent, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I'm happy with how it's worked out. It's not worked out the right way, but I would much prefer Salah to be getting more attacking returns than Bruno Fernandes in a selfish point of view. But for fantasy, I got it wrong this week, but at least I didn't get it wrong to the extent where he didn't return at all.
Yeah, agreed. Right, mate, let's move on to your team then for game week 14. Obviously, it looks like there's quite a bit of work to be done with this team at the moment. Few players with difficult fixtures coming up in this midweek round, but you do have free transfers in hands. What's your current plans in terms of those transfers, players in, players out, and captaincy ahead of this game week?
I think I would be rash, or I would be foolish not to be heavily linked with the Palmer transfer.
Yeah.
I think that does make sense as the most obvious swap. However, that means the end of Bruno because I'm not going to take Haaland out this week. I'm even going to say that if I am to bring Palmer in, I will still captain Haaland. I think I need to commit to the fact that I'm paying such an exquisite fee for Haaland, and I've kept the faith. I do feel like this run's got to come to an end. That being said, City have to change because it's not like they're playing well and they're not getting the luck. They are quite open. So maybe I'm being a bit ignorant here to think that Haaland and City are going to just turn it around like that. However, we know what City are like and they can do that. They're very capable of it. And with it being Palmer, it's away to Southampton, isn't it?
It is away to Southampton.
If it was at home, that would be a no-brainer. With it being away, I just feel like it allows for me to just be ever so slightly more tempted to go for Haaland. I do believe that Palmer's probably is the sensible shout with the form and with him coming back and returning from injury with a really, really nicely taken finish and an assist to add to that. Of course, Haaland is in terrible form because of the lack of service he gets from a poorly playing City side, but that's got to end, you'd imagine. So yeah, the fact that I'm keeping him in means I'm going to captain him, I'm going to say.
Okay. I might have some slides that might potentially put you off that captaincy a little bit later on. But
I am going to. The one main thing I was going to say is I am going to keep the two Bournemouth players.
Yeah, 100%. After this Tottenham game, it's a great run. They've got Ipswich next week as well.
Yeah, well, I think even home to Spurs is not. It's not a given for Spurs.
Spurs defensively are still questionable. You know what I mean? And Bournemouth have been pretty decent. They've beat, is it both Arsenal and City now at the Vitality this season?
What?
What?
I've got well confused. I'm looking at my team. What did you say?
I said both. Bournemouth have beat both Arsenal and Manchester City at the Vitality this season.
Oh well, I can't even remember. I can't even remember them playing City.
Yeah, they beat City 2-1.
I know they beat Arsenal because of the Saliba red.
Yeah, the Saliba red. Obviously, circumstances maybe on a different day they don't win that game, but that's still a pretty good record to be going into a game like this against a top 6 side on paper as well. So maybe they get the triple here and take out Spurs as well.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I think this is probably the easiest of the 3 games as well.
Yeah.
It depends. I mean, I say that depends what Spurs turns up. But yeah, I think my idea. I think the only change I would make on this team right in front of me is Robinson will probably play over Dragusin
Okay.
because of the Bournemouth double that I'm going
Yeah,
for
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I don't think I'm going to use all of my transfers this week. Just with it being a midweek, there's a slight chance of a little bit of rotation. There are plenty of players that I am tempted by, but I think I need to give Haaland that final hurrah.
Okay, okay, okay.
Um,
One final hurrah for. Would you prefer though to have a midfield free of Salah, Palmer, and Saka?
Arguably so, but the fact that I can afford Palmer for Bruno
Yeah.
means that I've got a front 3 of Saka, Palmer, and Haaland, which isn't any real difference. It's just the fact that it's more where I'm spreading that extra 4 million.
Mm.
And with Evan Nilsson, he's in decent form. Strand Larsen off the back of 2 goals against an Everton side that really don't look like too much at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, to be honest. I think I sound stupid by defending Haaland after the last game week because of how good Saka was, but Haaland was away at Liverpool. Saka was only playing West Ham, and I know I say only, but West Ham really are quite poor at the moment. So I think it'll be interesting to see how Saka faces off against a much more difficult game, albeit they are favourites against United, whereas Haaland's got Forest, who once again have had a good start to the season, but you've got to be expecting City to win that more comfortably than Arsenal.
Yeah, yeah, agreed. But I don't know. I just, yeah. I think if you go,
I do get it. At the end of the day, I do get it. I've kept Haaland in when I could have taken him out and played around with my team for this game at the weekend. But I kept Haaland in, knowing at the back of my mind it was unlikely he was going to have a bit of a masterclass, and there was a good chance that he was going to get outperformed by other players. So the fact that I have done that, I think I'd be a bit of a mug to take him out when he's got Forest and Palace next.
Okay. I think that Forest fixture's a lot more difficult than people are giving credit for.
Not, I don't think. I think it'll be a comfortable win, to be honest. But
Okay.
who am I to know? Because City have really surprised me with how much they've relied on one player.
Okay, so let's say you're bringing in Cole Palmer. Who's going to be your captain for this week? I think you said Haaland, didn't you?
I think so, yeah. I think I've just got to go for it. Otherwise, if I'm captaining Palmer, then what's the point in having Haaland? We've had this discussion before, haven't we? It's got to be captained, really, if you're going to play him, at least on a regular basis. And if I'm bringing in a player just to captain him, I feel like Haaland's kind of sitting there against a team that he should be scoring against.
Yeah.
I fancy him, and it's a bit of a differential as well because
massive differential, differential.
Fallen down the wayside a little bit. People won't have Haaland, of course. People won't be captaining him as well. So I mean, it's just a bit of a differential, and it's not a bad differential to have because everyone knows as much as they've taken him out, he can just hit the ground running like that.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Like he is one of those players that can just click it on. It's not even like he's been in bad form when he's gone out on international duty either. Like he's banging in hat-tricks for Norway, so it does seem that it is maybe a little bit more of a system problem for Manchester City. I think Rico Lewis is a big factor in why they're not doing too well at the moment. Like we were watching the game together on Sunday, and every time the ball went into him in midfield, no forward passing, no real kind of dictatorial or editorial kind of dictatorial kind of possession of that midfield, if you know what I mean. Like it was just like, oh, here's a sideways pass, not really anything progressive, and then sometimes he'd lose the ball. He just really let the side down, to be honest. So yeah, I think as well, Haaland for me was 40% effective ownership for this week. So you captain him, like if he does pop off, it genuinely could fly you up the rankings. I know a lot of people, like people are saying in the chat, Haaland's only had 23 points in 7 weeks. It is difficult.
Then he had that incredible start of the season, and I don't believe he's going to stop scoring completely because Rodri's out.
Agreed. I just think for the next run of fixtures, I don't see any value in him. I think he's got to be getting 2 attacking returns most weeks to make up that value and to be worth more than a midfield of Saka, Palmer, and Salah for me.
Well, in this situation, should I bring Palmer in? The argument there would just be that he has to be outperforming Saka.
I guess so, but then it's the money he allows you to distribute.
Well, I was just looking at this. I think I might hold on a transfer, but I'm just looking at it. So say if I were to put Robinson in for Dragusin,
yeah,
and I were to put Palmer in over Bruno, I'm just thinking I don't really fancy the low. So I was just thinking I can actually afford Cucurella.
Okay, I like that as a move. He looked really, really good at the weekend, didn't he, as well?
Yeah, and they've got a really good run of fixtures. The only question I was going to say is, what do you think about Enzo?
No, not from. I had a look at him today. Someone commented on one of my videos saying, "What about Enzo?" I had a look at his data, and it's terrible. Is
he defying the odds at the moment?
Yeah, he's defying the odds. Brother's playing because he's got XG divorce from his wife. That's the motivation. It's the exact same when Marcus Rashford has a missus. You know what I mean? He starts performing well. It's not because they're good and they're like doing really well on the data. It's outside confidence, I think, or in his case, proving someone wrong a little bit. But
yeah, actually, both ends of the spectrum there.
Yeah, literally. But yeah, his data is poo. Genuinely poo.
Yeah. The only other thing I would say is I think Curtis Jones is a bit of an unnecessary one, but I feel like with the team that I've got, it's an unnecessary transfer to make. If I've just played up like the idea with you, if I were to do Palmer in and then potentially take the low out for a Cucurella or someone with a good set of fixtures coming up. I mean, I could even go triple Bournemouth.
Yeah.
But if I were to do that, I feel like I saved the third transfer for the weekend.
Okay, yeah. I do think there will be a lot of rotation as well.
Sub, so what's the point anyway?
Yeah. I don't think there is a third point. Like someone could get injured or someone could get suspended or anything like that. So yeah, that makes sense to me.
Bit of a heavy one though, to be fair, because he'll probably play the majority of the game, really, because he didn't play much against City. So maybe I'm going to be egging my face. He might be worth me putting him as first sub. What do you reckon?
Who would have your other subs be? Dragusin and Hall? Yeah, I'd take a gamble on him at first sub.
Yeah.
Why not? Go for it, mate.
Sound all right. Cool.
Sweet. Wonderful stuff. Before we move on to my team and how we got on in Game Week 13 and my team selection, we are going to answer some of your guys' questions. So let's get on this. I actually saw Alex was in the chat, but you were in full flow, so I didn't want to disturb you. I don't actually know where he is.
He's fifth in the world.
Fifth in the world. Not as good as fourth.
Well, he lost. Someone gained 5 points, and he's now ahead of him in fourth.
Oh, no. Well, it's still nice to have you here, Alex. Thank you very much for coming, as always. What questions have we got? I've seen we've had quite a few. I just need to scroll back.
Oh, cheers.
Isaac has said he's fine. Yeah, I saw the Isaac interview. So if you do have Alexander Isaac, apparently he is okay for the Liverpool game. So that's a decent one. Notion Vids, one of our channel members, he says, "Hey Tom, what are the best transfers for Canate? I have Colwell and 8 Nori already and don't want Kirkes. I have 0.7 mil in the bank." Right. I think you could go to Yuri and Timber if you really wanted to go for this Arsenal route. There's some decent fixtures coming up past the United game for clean sheets. So all good stuff. And as well, I think in terms of another option, and I was looking at this one today, maybe Joe Gomez for 4 weeks or 4 game weeks. Maybe a little bit of a short-term punt, but Liverpool defensively have been astounding this season. Genuinely astounding.
And they're probably not even going to win the Golden Glove.
No, because Alisson's not been there all the
Unless
time.
Van Dijk puts a pair of gloves on.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, those would be my recommendations. Any transfer players you'd be looking at, Jake, in terms of defenders?
I really like that shout. I do really like that, with Bradley being out, with Trent just coming back. Canate out, or I'm not sure how long Canate's out for.
No, I'm just gonna have a quick look. I believe it's 5 to 6 weeks,
Right.
which obviously, usually would only probably mean around maybe 5 game weeks. But because we've got so many game weeks
Yeah.
coming up quick and fast, you're
Well,
probably
then,
going to get a
what do you
decent
think
amount.
about me bringing Gomez in then instead of Cucurella?
Could be a decent shout. I do like the Chelsea fixtures more longer term though. Um,
Well, then longer term, it could. Well, okay. Here's a question then, because I do like the Gomez shout.
mm,
I've got 3 transfers.
yeah,
So I can do one at the weekend if I hold it because I'm happy with 8 Nori. I might as well take that gamble.
he's got decent fixtures coming up as well. So yeah, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
I'll play Robinson because I feel like his games are numbered at the moment because I think they've got a rough few game weeks. Um, I'm just thinking like, would you take out Delo
Mm,
for Cucurella?
yeah.
Would you wait and would you bring in Gomez? Like, who would you fancy more to keep a clean sheet? I think Southampton are weirdly like quite inspired at the moment. Newcastle were lucky to get a shot on target.
Yeah, true, true, true.
So I don't know. Would you fancy Gomez to keep a clean sheet or Cucurella, or is it more the fact that Cucurella's got that attacking side to him?
I guess. I think maybe. I think the only problem with Gomez could be what if Kwanzaa plays a game at centre back. Like I don't think he will,
Yeah.
but there is that doubt in the back of my... Like I know he came on at right back for Trent, and I imagine that's probably going to be the new position you're going to try and put him in just to
I
cover off.
think, especially with the position Liverpool are in, I don't think he's going to just chuck Kwanzaa in there, especially after Gomez's performance yesterday.
Yeah, agreed.
Because he didn't put a foot wrong, so I don't see there being any need to swap it. Whether he plays the full 90 is a question, but I feel like that might be more regarding Trent for the next week. Maybe this game week might be a little bit too much for him, especially considering we've got the good bloody hell, the Merseyside derby on Saturday.
Yeah, agreed.
But an early kickoff.
Yeah, it is an early kickoff.
Yeah. Yeah, so Trent might not last the full 90, which means that where Kwanzaa may slot in. But I do like Gomez, especially up until the new year. I do like that, Tom. Well done.
There you go. There you go. Look at that. Always got. I'm always there, just in your brain, going, "Oh, bring in this player." Sometimes you listen. Good. Sometimes you
did
don't.
He say he didn't? Did the lad? Sorry, whoever it was that asked, but did he say he didn't want Kirkez?
Yeah, didn't want Kirkez.
Fair dues. I get it for this week, but I do think they've got some good fixtures, and
yeah,
he does look good.
Yeah, agreed. George, one of our channel members, has been a member of the Soggy Biscuit Club for 8 months now. So congratulations to you, mate. Many biscuits have gotten wet during your time here. So thank you very much for your continued
Speaking
support.
of,
go on.
So I don't know how many people are on this Sky Blue thing that you're trying to hype up.
Yeah, I own shares. Yeah.
Oh, do you?
No, that's just taking the piss.
Oh, sorry, not on the same wavelength.
No, not quite.
But I'm just wondering, like, I mean, I know you tweeted it, but no one gave a shit about my username. But I'm just trying to think of a decent username for this Sky Blue app that's not just my name. We ran through a few different ones, didn't we, yesterday? We had Curtis Jones in there. We had Michael Cheek after we watched Bromley play. The FPL Soggy Biscuit is definitely something that's being considered, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that'd be a perfect one, to be honest.
You reckon?
Yeah, definitely so, mate. Which two should I start out of Rogers, Welbeck, Wood, and Raul Jimenez?
Do you start Wood? I don't think that's a bad idea to start Wood, you know.
He's on penalties.
Yeah, and City just can't keep a clean sheet.
No. I think Forest will probably go there and try and defend. They're not very attacking.
Well, are they maybe going to score a goal? If they're going to score a goal, is it going to be someone that's a little bit more pacey and
Hudson
on the break?
Odoi, Alanga, maybe somebody like that.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I think I'd play Rodgers for sure out of those. I'm not too sure about Jimenez because Brighton's an iffy game. I know I'm saying I'm playing Robinson, but that's just because he's already in my team, and the other players I've got to choose from are few and far between. So I'm not too sure about Jimenez. As much as they're at home, I think Brighton could win that one comfortably.
Yeah, yeah. I think I'd probably go Rodgers and what's his name?
Wood.
No, not Wood. Rodgers and Welbeck, I think, would be the ones I'd go for.
Oh, did he say Welbeck? Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, nice.
I didn't hear him. I just heard the three.
No, sorry, mate.
I've got selective hearing on tonight, I think.
Oh, that is good. I like when you have that on.
Yeah, your mic sounds fine. It's not you, so no need to apologise.
Oh, that's all right then. That's good then. We're getting lots of questions about Brian and Buemo. I've seen quite a few in the chat already. What to do with him? Do you keep him? Do you sell him? Jake, if you had him, would you sell him or would you keep him this week?
What's their fixture?
They have got
away to Villa.
Away to Villa, yeah.
Have they got a decent run? Because I wouldn't fancy him away to Villa as much as Villa have been poor.
They've got Newcastle, and then it's really dog's arse.
Then maybe the best thing is to cash in whilst he's hot, because I feel like over the next couple of game weeks it's only going to go down. He's only going to lose valuation, isn't he?
Yeah.
I get it if you're intrigued by how he performs at Villa Park with their poor form of relate, but we know that Mbeumo does only tend to like it at home.
Well, that's Brighton as well. Not Brighton, Brentford as well. Generally, they
yeah.
Away form terrible, home form great. But then they've got Newcastle at home at the weekend, which is a decent fixture.
Yeah, that's not bad. It'd be interesting to see how Newcastle do in midweek. That's a big test for them, and they are that weird kind of side. It seems this season that actually are a force to be reckoned with against the side that they are underdogs against. And then when it's a side that they should be beating or at least competing with, they just don't turn up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they'll perform in one and not in the other. So hopefully it's at the weekend.
Yeah, agreed. Is Edison done as an option? Washed. Don't bother.
I would have. Why have you got him in this long, to be honest?
Yeah, Edison's always one of those players where he does randomly get dropped by Pep. It happens every season, or he picks up a weird, mysterious injury. So he is one of those players that you always end up having a lot of problems with. So, yeah.
Yeah, he does play. He doesn't keep a clean sheet anyway.
Yeah. We'll talk a little bit more about Brian and Buemo with my team as well, because I think it probably is the right team, as I am a Brian and Buemo owner. So let's move on to that. Let's take a look at how I got on in game week. What was it? Game week 13? That was the one. Game week 13. This is how my team got on in game week 13. An absolutely beautiful week. Another tasty week. 82 points. We brought in, of course, Bukayo Saka for Harry Winks, so that's a big plus. And then
that's some transfer to be able to make.
Yeah, and then Haaland for João Pedro, and they matched each other's scores, so that's not the worst transfer in the world. But yeah, the defence didn't really do anything apart from Aina, and I think that's kind of the way that the game is shaping up at the moment. There's not really too many clean sheets at all kicking about. It's really, really dismal for clean sheets every single week, and I feel like if you get the right players playing and you get a fortunate clean sheet, great. The midfield.
If you started the season with Callagher and Alisson, though, you'd be laughing.
Oh yeah. Well, I'll talk about my transfers in a minute. Maybe a Liverpool defender might be coming in. Maybe. The midfield absolutely cooked. Palmer, Saka, Salah. If Mbeumo had got that assist as well, that'd have been juicy. Palmer captain as well, worked absolute wonders. We were watching that game together. You were giving me pure jip after Bruno got his second assist, going, "Oh, Palmer's washed."
I didn't. That's absolute nonsense. I said that he was going to score. Although we were going to change our name, but I can't remember what we were going to change it to. So
yeah. I don't think it was broadcastable. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, just silly comments.
Yeah, silly Billy comments as always. And then the front line, João Pedro was really, really disappointing. Was basically playing like left wing back most of the game, which was really frustrating. Cunha didn't do what he usually does and scored from like outside the box with like a 0.01 xG shot. But then Vissa looked really, really good and played a full 90, which leaves me in two minds with him. Did he play a full 90 because he's going to be rested? Or does it mean that he's not a rotation option and he's like really good for minutes? It was really, really difficult for me to kind of figure that one out. But overall, a great week. Another green arrow. Like I've probably been, if you follow me on Twitter or Blue Sky, you've seen me tweeting the old Pep with 6. It's now six greens in a row from 5.2 million. We've brought the season back pretty much, and hopefully it can continue. And I think with the way the team is shaping up, we definitely can get it to keep going, to be honest. So yeah, there was the team for Game Week 13. Let's move on to how it's looking then for this week and how I've got it before I make my 1-3 transfer. Still could take a -4, of course, if I wanted to do that. But this is how the team is currently looking. Rare in goal, Mikolenko, Aït-Nouri, Konza. Again, not really feeling confident about any of those keeping a clean sheet, to be honest. It's a bit of a mishmash back line, but Greaves isn't playing and Aina's got City away, so don't really feel too confident with that one. We've got Mbeumo, Palmer captain, Saka, Salah, and then a forward line of João Pedro, Cunha, and Visser. My transfers are either going to be Mbeumo to Bowen, Visser to Jackson, or Mikolenko to potentially Van Dijk or Trent. What do you think about those transfers there, Jake?
I think Jackson's the one to go for at the moment, personally. I like the double Chelsea. I like the fixtures they've got, and Jackson just can't stop scoring at the moment. And as much as I think there is that possibility that Southampton score, they are going to be up against it when it comes to keeping a clean sheet. And I think Jackson's a very good shout. Like we've mentioned plenty of times, they've got such a good run afterwards as well. Yeah, I think that's a great shout. Personally, that's what I'd go for out of those three. I think it's a potential risk with Trent, and maybe it's worth just holding on for a bit. But then it sounds like are you potentially are you blowing all the money on one player here? So if you go Jackson, you won't be able to afford Trent at a later date.
No, I think I've got enough money in the bank that I could go up to Trent and Jackson. I think I've got enough money in the bank for two.
Well, I like Konza, I like Aït-Nouri, and I like Mikolenko because I could fully see that being 0-0.
Yeah.
You could.
Are
you keeping Aina?
Yeah. Because I looked at it, right? They've got City this week. Hang on, I'm just trying to figure out if I've got enough to do Jackson and... Where's his name? I don't have enough to do either, actually. I don't have enough to upgrade Mikolenko.
Why don't you do Jackson for... Who is it you're going to do it for? Visser?
Visser, yeah.
And why don't you bring Joe Gomez in?
I could do Joe Gomez, yeah. But I mean, that would be me taking a -4, and I don't think that -4 would
have you only got the one transfer?
Only got the one transfer, yeah.
Well, then I'd do Jackson, mate. Because you can do Joe Gomez at the weekend if you're desperate to, because that's going to be a goal fest, isn't it?
It is going to be a goal fest, yeah. I've just had in my mind for weeks, though, that transfer of Bowen to Mbeumo. I mean, Mbeumo to Bowen. It's been in my mind for weeks.
Well, they have got a good run coming up, including Leicester away tomorrow.
They do have a good run coming up, but the problem is Bowen's data stinks.
Is he on your head-to-head thing, or have you not done him?
What do you mean on my head-to-head thing?
Have you done a head-to-head record or not this week?
I don't think he was on it. Maybe he was. I can't quite remember. I've done the head-to-head record. I can't remember if I put Bowen on it.
Yeah, I'm just having a little look. Well, fast.
But,
a lot of the players that West Ham haven't beaten Leicester for a while. You know, Bowen scored.
Oh, that's all right then.
Antonio with a brace.
Oh dear.
Bowen scored. Bowen scored. Oh,
that's
two goals away from home as well.
This is the thing. Like, I've had this transfer in mind for weeks. Bowen to Mbeumo has been in my mind for weeks. And...
Tom, Bowen's got 3 goals in I think 6 games, and 2 of them were away from home. That's not a bad record.
It's a good record. That is a good record.
Antonio's also got 4.
No, don't be going Antonio.
No, I'm only joking. I'm saying it I say it in jest. I don't think I'm as much as I was tempted by the talk of the likes of Antonio and Somerville even after the Kevin Schade masterclass against Leicester. I think I'm going to give West Ham a miss this week.
Yeah.
But that's not to say that Bowen's a bad idea. It just means that I need to get Palmer in over him.
Yeah. What I can't get my words out there.
What?
What if this was your team, right? Set up, you've got one free transfer. What are you doing with it? Because you could realistically roll if you really wanted to.
I think it's one of those situations where you could definitely roll, um, but then if you're going to roll, I think you'd be wise to play Rodgers,
Over who?
um,
Over who?
one of the Brentford boys, because you've got Konza.
I don't.
And
I think Brentford would score though. They're the entertainers of the league, aren't they?
not on Buemo though. Buemo doesn't fancy it
Oh,
away.
and well, and Buemo's not really fancying it, but it'd be the penalty appeal. That's why I'd
Yeah.
want him on the pitch.
Fair enough. Well, personally, if I had your team, uh, I might be tempted to play Fabianski.
No, United a dog. I'm sticking by that. I think
Mm.
Everton made them look good.
All right.
Honestly, Jared Branthwaite gave away 2 goals and Tarkowski gave away the other. Otherwise, it's a 1-0 win.
I know, but that is it's a big game,
And they'll
and
win. I'm telling you right now, Arsenal
I'm
will
not saying they won't. I'm
demolish
just
them.
saying I don't think they'll win to nil
They will.
because I feel like it's one of those where Man United will be up for it. They're not in City's position where they're lacking players that are going to hold the team together. They've got the same players that they've had all season, and they've got a good spine of the squad that have performed very well when it comes to the big games. Albeit Liverpool and City in the past haven't been quite so successful for them. But the Arsenal games have never really been whitewashes.
Mm. Okay. Okay.
Um, yeah.
I'm back. I'm back in Arsenal this week. I think.
Also, Rashford's got a new girlfriend, I heard.
He has got a new XG girlfriend. Is a big thing.
So, I would be tempted to play Fabianski, but then again, I'm saying Fabianski out loud, and I'm realizing what I'm saying.
Lad, remember he donked someone on the head at the
Yeah,
weekend?
Jamie Vardy's getting nutted.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah, well, okay. Well, if I had to use a transfer, I like the thought of bringing Jackson in. I do think, though, at the same time, this is in good form. João Pedro, you're willing to give him time. That's fair enough. Maybe you hold it because then you've got a bit of room to manoeuvre come the weekend. Um, I think your midfield is absolutely stacked, and I do think that Mbeumo can survive another game week in it. With all things said and done, because I think the main position that could be improved, I would argue, is defence. Um, and I would just say maybe someone like a Gomez or a Cucurella would be a decent shout, or even like you mentioned earlier, like um, no, actually, I take it back. I'm going to pretend I didn't just say that. I was going to say Timber, but then I'm like, that's triple Arsenal after I've just argued United are going to score. Um, no, you know what? I think what I'll do with you,
oh yeah.
I would either go Jackson in
Mm.
or hold it.
Okay. I am.
Because I think come the weekend that would be nice to have 2 transfers.
Yeah, it would because I
Uh,
do have a little bit of a mess defensively.
Well, yeah, and I also feel like if you were to bring Jackson in, then it's a lot easier. Just saying to play Rodgers over Mbeumo, because then you've got double Villa. You're not contradicting yourself. You've taken Visser out. I feel like that makes a little bit more sense than going concert and Mbeumo. It's kind of you're like got a what's the word? You got like money on both sides. Like you're not committing. Whereas if you have Rodgers and Konza, there's a good chance of a double kill.
Yeah, I get you. I get you. Food for
Because when I
thought.
can avoid it, I do try to avoid contradicting myself. It's like with Spurs and Bournemouth. I don't want Dragusin to play because I don't want to waste those Evan Nilsson and Semenyo points if that were to be the case.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I honestly it keeps harping back to Jared Bowen for me. Like, I don't know if this is something I've tried to do less this season in FPL. Is not use my emotion with certain
No,
players.
but the only thing I would say for you is you've got if you were to bring Bowen in, that's and Mbeumo's got some really tricky games coming. beating it before he goes cold, like where before he loses his value even more, because I imagine he will drop when people realise the fixtures that he's got coming up.
Yeah.
People will still fancy him away at Villa because of the form clashes. They'll be like, you know what, we'll give him one last go because there are clearly players that people want to prioritise them taking Mbeumo out. So I actually think that's a really good differential. And once again, my argument still stands. If you bring Mbeumo out for Bowen, it means you can play Rodgers instead of Visser.
I think I'd still play Visser over Rodgers.
Fair enough, but I wouldn't. I just don't like. I just don't like contradicting the team, especially when it's attack and defense. If you've got like Mbeumo and Rodgers, or Visser and, or like even just like two attackers, that's fair enough. Like I did with Strand Larson and Evan Nilsson. Um, as much as I had Aït-Nouri in my team, it just proved that it was such a waste of having him in there because he did nothing because of the fact that Evan Nilsson did something. That's just my opinion, but you know what? I wouldn't be against you going Bowen at all, and I think that's a cool differential because you're not taking someone out that's guaranteed to get like returns week in week out over Christmas, whereas Bowen, you would imagine by the new year will have done better than Mbeumo with points over the December period.
Yeah, especially with them playing two newly promoted sides within the next three.
Yeah, I agree, and they don't. I mean, touch wood, they don't seem to tend to choke against the lower sides. They do beat them. I swear they battered Ipswich.
And that was Bowen's best game, 1 goal and 1 assist in that one as well.
Yeah. So I feel like Bowen's a good shout. Yeah. Go with your gut, lad. But Bowen, Jackson, good shouts. But at the same time, if you are quite keen on Brentford subtly, why not fucking just go for it and bank it till the weekend?
Yeah, I could do. Right.
Who are you captaining?
Palmer.
Oh yeah, fair enough.
Easy captain, really, for me personally.
Would you keep him captain even if you brought the likes of Bowen or Jackson?
Yeah, 100%. Cole Palmer all the way. I think with this week, I think Cole Palmer will be the most captain player.
Who'd you captain if Palmer doesn't exist in your team? Just a hypothetical one.
Salah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dudes.
Yeah,
Not Saka.
No, I'd go Salah.
They're battering United.
Well, they are, but like that's probably the first time like I think Saka's ever got like a mega haul when I've owned him. Usually he's somebody that just like ticks along very nicely, if you know what I mean. He'll get like a goal, two assists. He'll never do what Mohamed Salah does, where it's like, oh, it's a mega haul, double-digit haul every single. Like I think it's like 9 in 13 game weeks now,
Right.
double-digit hauls for Salah. You can't say the same for Saka.
No.
So yeah, that's where I'd go if I didn't have Cole Palmer. Right, let's move on to the next section then. We will answer some questions once we've gone through all this good stuff. Of course, there will be a deadline stream tomorrow. I'll be live from 2 o'clock for that one. Of course, we'll be doing team reviews, answering all your guys' questions, going through all the key data ahead of the game week as well. So yeah, it should be a good one. So get yourself there. And if you are new around here as well, hit that like button, subscribe button, bell notifications on so you will be notified when I go live as well. Let's take a look at the betting data from Rob T FPL. Some really interesting stuff from the betting markets this week, to be honest. I was expecting to see Chelsea top of projected goals. However, it is Manchester City, which could bode well for you in that Erling Haaland captaincy, Jake.
I think that makes sense. I do feel like it's more down to the fact of who City are rather than the form that they're in.
Yeah.
If that was a form guide, I think Forest would be backed a little bit more than they have been there.
I think if City weren't in the form that they're in right now as well, I think their projected goals probably would have been a little bit higher. I think that might have been
3.
I reckon that would have been close to 3.
Fair enough.
Yeah. And I reckon the clean sheet odds would have been a plus 50% as well for a home game like that. So
you can never really bank on City with a clean sheet though, for whatever reason, even when they have got the best team.
They're just weirdos, aren't they?
They just win 4-1 or 5-1 or whatever. But I do fancy Haaland captain, and that's just reassured me.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe I might do some unreassuring in a few minutes. Cole Palmer and Chelsea are second for projected goals, so maybe having that double up of Palmer and Jackson could be really, really fruitful as well against the Saints. Obviously, a game we've been speaking about, I think we're both on kind of different sides of the coin, is the Arsenal-Manchester United game. You're fancying, Arsenal not to wipe the floor. The betting data saying it's probably going to be quite a comfortable win for the Gunners.
Yeah, comfortable and wiping the floor, I think, are two slightly different things. I think Arsenal will win, but I think United will score.
Okay.
I do think Arsenal will win, and I do think it will be a comfortable result. But I don't think United will just turn up just there. I don't think they're going to play just to say they've played. I think they will actually put a bit of a game in, but Arsenal's quality will be the better.
Okay. Second lowest for projected goals, though, on that list.
Who? United?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Rashford's got a new missus.
XG misses coming forward again. A fixture that could be maybe get Villa on the backtrack is Brentford. They, again, seem to not really be able to keep clean sheets. The betting market suggesting could be a decent, fixture for them goals-wise. Ollie Watkins, some next three fixtures are pretty tasty on paper.
It's need to know what his record is against his old club.
Oh, don't worry, we've got it. It's there. It's ready.
No, it's not a bad one. I don't think. I think deep down you're in agreement that can you really bring yourself to pay 9 million for a player that missed the chances that he missed against Chelsea?
Yeah. I think we were watching that game together and I said if that was the Watkins of last season, he puts that away easy. He's just missing too many big chances this season.
Massive chances, and it'll be such a different game. That's why I feel like Villa's form has been poor, but they wouldn't have been beaten 3-0 if Watkins had scored. I mean, I know that sounds stupidly obvious.
Well, no, it's game state, isn't it? It's complete. The game completely flips on its head if Villa score that early goal.
100%.
And I think as well, if he misses those big chances, it also affects his bonus points as well. So even if he does then later go on to get a goal, he's probably less likely to be towards the top end of bonus, which, again, when you're paying 9 million, you'd like, if he scores, to be picking up free bonus with those goals as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Looks like it could be a right game at Tottenham-Bournemouth. Goals projected for both sides as well, so could bode well for your Evan Nielsen and Semenyo in there.
Yeah. Well, they'll stay in there with Curtis Jones just ready to lap up Semenyo failing his fitness test.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does look like it'll be a good game, and I think that's true. It'd be a surprise if that finishes 0-0.
Any fixtures you wanted to kind of highlight or talk about on that list?
I don't think the West Ham game's really proving either way what that's going to be regarding Bowen. I mean, the clean sheet percentage is low, but it's not really suggesting it's going to be a goals galore game, is it?
No.
I feel like that's one of those really where whoever scores first will probably win. So yeah, it's not a whitewash. No, to be honest, I think you've covered it pretty well. I think Liverpool, Newcastle, hard game to decipher. To be honest, despite Newcastle's really poor, very inconsistent form, and when they are bad, they have been really, really bad. When they've been good, they've been very solid. They played like a team. They've just played like a really good unit. I mean, watching them against Arsenal, they were excellent. I think they got a draw against City back when City was still right in the running. So yeah, I don't think that's a write-off. I think I think it was. I know a lot of people will probably have mixed opinions about Jamie Carragher, but I saw him post-match after the game yesterday saying that Arsenal have got a good couple of games. I know they've got United, but they've got two games that they should be winning. Liverpool are away to Newcastle, away to Everton. This will be a real test, and I actually would argue that this is more of a test than they've had in the past few weeks in the Premier League, because I know City was an anomaly. They were horrendous, really, knowing their standard. It wasn't like Liverpool were amazing. Liverpool just played how they have been playing, whereas they are really going to be tested here. So if they can win both these games against Newcastle and Everton, then that really does make a statement for the rest of the season.
Yeah, definitely so. I think you draw one of these games. I don't know which one, but I think you draw one of them.
I think Newcastle, as much as I joke about the Everton game being goalless, I do think Newcastle will be the difficult game. I think Everton, if I'm being serious about how Slot has prepared this season and how things have gone this season, it seems like Everton should be a comfortable victory, but Newcastle could be that little bogey.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Coolio Iglesias. Let's move on to the next section. It is going to be the expected goals conceded table. Obviously, we were whipping this out quite a bit towards the back end of last year. I find it really useful when obviously looking at certain defences to be going and targeting. And I mean, your point around Erling Haaland, I don't think I could have made a better slide this week, to be honest. Obviously, the worst defences at the top. And then, of course, as we can see down the bottom, are the best defences in the league. And who's sat in third place? Oh, it's Nottingham Forest. How's that one making you feel?
I mean, I can't deny it. I cannot deny it. They've been extremely good. They've been the dark horses this season.
Mm-hmm.
I really can't deny it. I think the only thing I will say is it was that a really well deserved. I don't know. Would you call it a smash and grab at Anfield? I think that might sound a bit disrespectful to them, but
No, I think it was a smash and grab.
yeah, but they played very well in that game.
They were organised. I think that's the best way to describe it.
But then, on the contrary, Arsenal made it look quite easy. So I feel like they still have some defensive frailties, and I think a side like City at the Etihad could prove to be too much. But if someone is going to get a result against City and the remainder of the fixtures this season at the Etihad, someone rogue, it would be someone like Forest, wouldn't it?
Well, I think they've obviously got a blueprint on how they beat you, which is going to be pace and obviously discipline and a structured system. And watching City at the weekend, they honestly could not pick your defence apart. And it's been like that for a couple of games now. They've really struggled to break teams down. And I think they might have a real difficult test on their hands here with Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, potentially. I think one thing is different though is the fact that Van Dijk had an excellent game yesterday.
Oh, he was incredible, genuinely incredible.
And the likes of Murillo and is it Milenkovic? Does he play regularly now?
Yeah.
They are going to have to be on top form because without that, Haaland will get sniffs and he's not going to miss many more sniffs. That's for sure.
No, he loves a good old sniff.
He does. I know. I'm still fancying Haaland. You know,
Okay.
I am still fancying Haaland. I get it.
Mm.
And if you fancy like a little sneaky surprise away win bet this season, then I get it. I also get that, but I just feel like Haaland will score. Not sure what the result will be, but I do believe Haaland will get a couple of attacking returns.
Okay. Obviously, I wanted to talk about Liverpool being on there as well, the best defence in the league. Neither of us have Liverpool defenders in our side. Is that maybe something we're overlooking? I know the 11-ify data as well projected for the next 5 is looking really good as well. So is it maybe thinking maybe that Joe Gomez, if you've obviously got money to stretch to Van Dijk or Trent, worth it?
Yeah, I think Gomez is a very good shout. I think there's an issue with Robertson and Tsimikas because the rotation means that probably one will play Wednesday, one will play Saturday. But then the other one will probably come off the bench as well. So that's a little bit up in the air to see who plays when. I could be wrong, because I think there's Champions League or League Cup the following week, so maybe Robertson plays both these games and Tsimikas plays that one. I don't know. But I wouldn't take a risk on that. I think a few people took that gamble on Canate, so that was a bit of a blow for them. I think Trent is an interesting one. I don't think it's worth bringing him in against Newcastle. I do believe he's actually got a decent record against Newcastle, actually.
Oh.
I vaguely remember him scoring a couple. I'll have a little look on that, unless you want to.
No, I'll let you crack on.
But yeah, I think Trent might be a little bit premature. Especially with the Merseyside derby on Saturday, especially with it being lunchtime. I don't think he'll play a full 90. And we have just discussed that could be a little bit of a bogey, a bit of a banana for them. Just a bit of a banana. And then Van Dijk, great shout. Um, but I think he might just be a little bit too expensive when you've now got Joe Gomez sneaking into the fray. I get that Van Dijk has got that aerial presence for set pieces for Liverpool, but at the end of the day, I think you're bringing in a Liverpool player. We're only really talking about Liverpool players right this second is because of just how confident you'd be that they keep a couple clean sheets over the next few weeks.
Yeah, yeah, agreed,
If you're
agreed.
looking for attacking returns, you probably look elsewhere, like a Cucurella, or give it a week or so and see how Trent does and how much he plays.
Agreed. Obviously, it's looking good for people that are going Cole Palmer and Nicholas Jackson this week as well. Southampton, the second worst defence in the league. Only Ipswich worse than them, but even that's pretty close, to be honest. There's not really too much to split between the two as well. So again, I do feel this is a really useful tool, and we looked at it at the back end of last season and could see that United were a really poor defence from this and were one team to target every single week. And I remember at the back end of last season we kept going, oh, United have conceded again. They've lost that game. They've got bummed. And it was pretty much just because of this data that we were using here. So it is a really useful tool. So if you do want to take a screenshot of it, looking for teams to be targeting, do go and take a look. Right, before we finish up and answer your guys' questions, of course, we have to look at the head-to-head records.
Yeah.
Obviously, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it is just absolute BS. But on here, we've got Saka, Palmer, Salah, and Mbeumo, Bowen, Watkins, and Haaland. Obviously, Haaland, interestingly, with the best record on this list. 3 games, 5 goals against Nottingham Forest. So maybe I'm swinging you back in the other way there, lad.
It's been a night of up and downs, but
It
yeah,
has indeed.
I think that's just confirmed my decision
Okay.
because, like I say, I've kept him in. He's 15 million. What am I doing not captaining him if I'm that confident that he's going to return?
Obviously,
Good record for Watkins. I was intrigued to see that because,
yeah.
of course, it's his old club. I wasn't sure if that'd be a bit of a tricky one, but no, not bad for him.
No, not bad. And then Jared Bowen as well. 3 goals, 2 assists in 5 games against Leicester.
And like I said, 2 of them were away from home.
And then you look at Brian's record. Only 1 goal, 1 assist against Villa.
Yeah. And the odds on that being a home goal are quite likely.
Yeah, astronomically high. Mohamed Salah as well with a pretty decent record against Newcastle. I think whatever graphic we put up here against Salah, he's pretty much probably most weeks going to have a decent record.
Is incredible.
Yeah. Most weeks, I imagine he's going to have a pretty decent record, unless it is like somebody like Ipswich who have just been newly promoted and never played in the Premier League. Obviously, Cole Palmer never has played against Southampton, so we can't really look to this metric. And then Saka's as well against United. Not a terrible record there.
No, not at all. Are you not tempted by Salah? No.
What, for captain?
Yeah.
I am, but I think it's just the simplicity of just Southampton. They're terrible. Honestly, lad, watch the highlights from the Brighton game. The amount of times they can't even pass a ball out the back, and it's just like
they do. They are so adamant to play the ball out from the back, aren't
and
they?
they've still not got Bednarek back. I think Diblin suspended, who got man of the match in that game on Friday. They're going to probably be playing their 5th choice goalkeeper because the 4th choice wasn't good at passing the ball out enough. Like I just think this could be a bit of a cook sesh for Chelsea, really. And I'm saying all this, and then I'm not bringing Jackson in. So what am I doing?
No, because I think you've got Jared Bowen on the mind, and that's understandable.
But maybe I should get Jared Bowen off the mind. Maybe I should. I need to stop using my emotions and think. Right, let's use my head.
Can you afford Bowen for Mbeumo and Jackson for Wissa?
Yeah, I can.
I don't think it's a bad -4.
It's not a bad -4, but is it worth the -4?
Yeah.
Is it worth a -4?
Jackson scores and Jared Bowen gets 3.
But what if Mbeumo turns up? Like, Villa have been terrible recently. I think it's 1 win in 8, only 1 clean sheet this season.
I think I'd be a lot more confident on that if it was Brentford at home.
Yeah, agreed. Definitely agreed.
Yeah, interesting. But you know me, I'd probably do the fucking minus.
Yeah, you probably would.
Well, I'd do a -3 somehow and bring someone else in random.
Yeah, people are saying, nah, Tom, Bowen is the king. Bowen at the top of the tree. Get him up there. This is what I mean. There's too much emotional investment in Bowen. It's going to be Jonathan David season all over again. And I've kind of avoided all these traps so far this year on FPL. I've not really gone into any. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know, mate. I really, really don't know what to do with that one. I guess you'll have to turn into the to the deadline stream and find out what I actually end up doing with my team. There we go.
What time's that from?
Probably go live about 2. Well, yeah, 2 o'clock.
Oh, I might listen to it in my new van.
Yeah, get it on in the van and it'll just be like, oh, I've bloody taken -4 like Jake said. I've got Bowen in. So yeah, I am really tempted with Jackson now though. I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking, you know, Southampton are terrible, and he could absolutely wallop them.
Yeah. God, look how veiny Haaland's arms.
I know, yeah. Brother's got. He's honestly a nurse's wet dream with those veins.
Isn't he just?
Oh,
yeah.
She honestly, if she's coming round the ward going, right, it's time to take your blood, Mr. Haaland. No problems there. No problems at all.
No, he's the owner of that gym that you go to.
Oh mate, he's ripped and all, isn't he? Honestly, ripped up. What is the deadline stream UK time? It'll be 2 o'clock, my friend. 2 o'clock or 2:30. I haven't quite decided yet. That is going to be the plan going forward for this midweek and the weekend.
When's the deadline? Is it 6?
It's 6. I'm not going live till all the way to 6. I think what we're going to do.
Oh, is that because you're coming Bolton?
No, I'm not coming Bolton. What we're going to do is basically. What am I trying to explain? Basically, if we see the views, it pretty much goes up and then just falls off when all the big boys go live. So I think what the new plan is going to be is go even more earlier, get all the views, and then as soon as the big boys go live, forget it. We'll just sack it off. We'll just go and sit in someone else's stream and enjoy myself, and not kill myself or knacker my vocal cords by sitting here for 4 hours. So there we go.
Well, we're going to have FPL Soggy Biscuit coming up soon.
Oh, FPL Soggy Biscuit on Blue Sky's the one, isn't it, really, mate? Right, get your questions in before me and Jake do finish up. Jake, what do you think the lowest scoring game is going to be this game week, my friend?
Oh, it's got to be. I know you're going to say the high. Wait, we're going lowest scoring game?
Yeah. Oh, no, sorry. Yeah, we always go highest. Sorry, highest.
Because I know what highest scoring game you're going.
What game am I going for?
You're going Wolves Everton.
Oh, that honks of a 5-goal thriller down at the old Ev. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna go for. I'll go for Bournemouth against Spurs. A nice 4-2 win to Bournemouth.
Okay. I'm gonna go Ipswich Palace.
Nice.
Yeah.
Liam Delap hat-trick.
Not Liam Delap. I hate Liam Delap with a passion.
Well, I actually saw. I can't remember who I saw on the stream before. They had Liam Delap on the bench, and I'm just going to say one thing about that. Yeah, I know you'll be happy with it for a start, but I would argue he shouldn't be in your team unless you're going to play him in games such as these.
Who, Liam Delap?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you got to be playing Liam Delap in a fixture like this.
So yeah, I can't remember who it was. Sorry, but I just saw it on the comments before. But yeah, I think Liam Delap needs to be playing, or you need to be bringing someone else in.
Yeah, agreed. Golden Goals in the chat as well. Hope you're doing good, my friend. Jamie said, "Where is bed shitter of the week?"
All right, come on, let's get a quick bed shitter, shall we?
Let's get a quick bed shitter. You think of one, I'll think of another one as well. I'll quick fire some questions as well. Canate to Gomez for free. I don't mind that. We've obviously been speaking quite highly about Joe Gomez this week. Someone said Pep should be bed shitter of the week this week, and
yeah, you know what? Let's do it.
I think it's got to be Pep. He's locked it in.
That.
He's locked it in, and Pep.
Yeah, Pep can be the first manager on bed shitter of the week.
He's got to be done, hasn't he?
The question, though, I know, just to make it about myself again.
Oh, go on. You've never done that before.
Would you bring?
Go on.
Do I use all 3 transfers? And bring in Palmer, Gomez, and Cucurella? Or do I wait with one?
I don't know if I'd do the 2 defensive transfers. I don't know if there's too much upside in defence at the moment.
Okay, well, who do you go for?
I think I'd probably be more tempted with the Cucurella one.
All right,
Hmm. Okay.
double Chelsea it is.
Double Chelsea it is, baby.
Gomez is scoring the season though, and you know what? I can just see it. Gomez is going to get his willy out. It's going to be that. Oh no, he'll pull his pants down and shake his bum or something. He'll do something crazy for his
Oh yeah.
first ever goal of his life.
Oh, definitely so. Golden Goal bought a great reply, by the way. He said, Kyle Walker's bed shit of the week, but he said, which bed did he shit in? He's got about 5 to go to.
Nice.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. When would I advise on a free hit? Probably going to be towards the back end of the season when we've got double game weeks. So FA Cup starting up now and, Carabao Cup and stuff like that. So it's probably going to be, I think it's 34, 36. Maybe there's another one in there. I can't
What
quite
are you
remember off the
saying
top of my
that
head.
for?
You're right
No,
over
no,
there.
not you. Hussein Hesham
Yeah.
has just gone, not Cucurella.
No,
Well,
no.
give me a reason, because now you're making me think I should be going Gomez. Gomez hat trick.
You could go for Colwell, who's pretty nailed and
No,
cheaper.
I think I'll go Cucurella. If I'm going to go for a Chelsea defender, I'll go Cucurella. But
Colwell's 4.5, lad. He's nice and
if I
cheap.
don't want, I don't want someone. I don't want a Chelsea defender for a clean sheet. I just like Cucurella.
Okay, I'm gonna have a look at Cucurella's attacking returns.
He got an assist in the last. He's one assist in December
December,
this year.
right? I'm having
He's
a
got
look.
one more assist than a lot of other defenders this year. This December. Oh.
Oh, lad, you can't be bringing him in for attacking returns. I'm not
All
having
right,
it.
then Joe Gomez it is.
I'm not having it. 0.09 expected goal involvement per 90. Colwell is 0.07, so there's not even any difference.
I know, but Cucurella gets bonus.
Well, he got bonus because he played out his skin at the weekend, didn't
You were class, yeah. Um, someone said Cole brings fuck all.
he? People are hating on Colwell now as well. Oh
Mm.
dear, my chat's
But
died on the
I'm not
OBS.
going to ring Cucurella in, lad. But if he does bit, I'm going to make sure I make a nasty comment on your Twitter.
Oh lad, I'd definitely make a nasty comment. I would put the nastiest comment possible. That's what
Yeah,
I'd do.
that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Any news on Romero? I haven't seen Ange's press conference. I don't know if it's today or tomorrow, but we'll have it for you in the deadline stream, Jessica. I'll make sure to have a look at that one. Let's have a look if there's any other questions on as well. 0.07 Colwell scores from the halfway line. There we go, lad. People are hyped for the Colwell train now. There you go.
He also said Gomez hat trick, by the way.
Oh, lad. So it's guaranteed then, isn't it? Really?
So
Joe.
it's Gomez and Cole. So Cucurella, who was on his own, is now not playing at all.
Well, we had people getting hat tricks this week before Bukayo Saka, Justin Clivert, and Kevin Schade.
If Joe Gomez gets a hat trick before Bukayo Saka. No, but at the end of the day, you got to remember Bukayo Saka has a Champions League hat trick.
Yeah. Oh dear me. It doesn't look like we're getting any other kind of late questions in, so we are going to leave it there. Like I said, it will be an early one for me tomorrow for the deadline stream, so make sure you're getting yourself locked and loaded for that one. Me and Jake will probably be speaking to each other at some point later in the week as well, because of course it's naturally going to be a Saturday deadline. So yeah, game weeks are coming thick and fast. Make sure you are hitting that subscribe button. Plenty of content coming your way, plenty of live streams and all that good stuff. Any final thoughts from you, Jake?
No, all good, thanks. And we'll have to hook up again later on in the week.
I guess we will. Oh, actually, we've had a good one. One final question. Give me a quiz question I should ask for my deadline stream tomorrow. Has to be FPL related. Ooh, okay. I'm having a little think here. Has to be FPL related. I mean, I would personally have it maybe around like Kevin Schade, just because he's a massive knob, to be honest.
I mean, if you're able to get people to not check their phone, which is exactly what I'm going to do now.
No, but we're doing research for the question.
Let's just see before I actually do it.
Go on. Okay, go on.
I'm just thinking. Okay, so we've got. I'm thinking, who's the cheapest player on the
Actually,
game with a point?
that's a good question. Or the cheapest player to have a double-digit haul.
Nice.
That's a good one, isn't it? That's a good one. There you go.
But I think I know the answer. I'm not saying, but I think I know the answer is for that. For the cheapest player with a point.
Mm.
I won't say that because you can find out yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't want to give it away we're doing him a favour.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So there you go. Right, we're going to leave it there, guys. Hopefully, that question, one of those questions gets used. Obviously, we'll have to drop into the Golden Goal stream once we've wrapped up ours and obviously head in for the quiz. So all good stuff. What's the answer? He said, what's the answer? Oh, mate.
Hey, you actually want to know?
I don't know what the answer is. I just came up with the question. I don't know the answer.
Oh, well, which one do you want? I've got the answer to the cheapest player.
Go on. Who's the cheapest player that's got a point?
I believe it's Sangare for. Oh wait, hold on.
Oh, go on.
No, it's.
Go on.
Oh no way! It's Charlie Taylor.
Oh, not Charlie.
He's
Charlie.
3.9 million, and he's got 3 points.
There we go. Wonderful.
I'm intrigued to know who the cheapest with a double-digit haul. Let's have a little look of you.
Yeah.
Steal a few more people's seconds there.
Oh, that lad, they're gagging for seconds, aren't they? I reckon it'll be a defender. Has a 4 million defender got anything this year? Gotta be. Michael Keane. It's surely got to be Michael Keane. With his Ipswich one. It's got to be Michael Keane.
Carrying thingy Kearney. You got 10. 4.8. You got 10 this week.
Michael Keane at 4.2 mil though. You're not beating that.
I know he didn't get 10. That's absolute bollocks. He got 3.
He got sent off as well. I swear down.
Don't know. It's harder to actually find that out, to be honest.
No, Michael Keane's leading the way. I think it's going to be Michael.
Oh,
Keane.
Aina, yeah.
Aina's too expensive. 4.9 now.
What did Michael Keane get?
He got a 14-pointer because he scored against Ipswich, didn't he?
One kept clean sheet.
Yeah. But yeah, I think he's probably going to be a winner of that one, to be honest.
What about like a fucking? What about a goalkeeper?
I don't think. Oh, did Fabianski get double digit? Oh, hello. Fabianski might have got double digit,
Right.
Oh, he got 9. He got 9 against Everton, so it doesn't count. I think it's going to be Michael Keane.
Maybe.
I think it's going to be Michael Keane.
Oh.
Go on.
How much is Michael Keane?
Well, he's 4.2 now.
Oh, yeah, it's Michael Keane.
All right, it's Michael Keane. All right, then.
Got 11 for Ipswich against someone.
Oh, well, good for him, but it's not Michael Keane, is it? Right, we're going to leave it there before we end up in honestly.
Wrap it up, lads.
Yeah, someone's got the right idea. Get it wrapped up, get it finished. And that is the advice my sex ed teacher gave me as well. Always wrap it up, lads. So on that wonderful note, I'll see you tomorrow for the deadline stream. Bye-bye.